Okay, so just we'll start with recording and just some little reminders actually just going forward. So obviously everyone knows the logo and name change and rebrand. So this week there will be an email sent out for the players, kids, and families to vote on the name and logo. That's what we'll have going forward for this spring year. Also, our invites will be starting out. So it is a process. So we have some that will be going out right away here. I guess call them the first groupings, and then I believe we are giving about a 5-day window for a deadline to accept and pay the deposit. So yeah, obviously if possible to be patient and wait. Obviously some of the players some of your friends may get an invite before you, or you may get an invite before them. So if you can be patient, obviously, and just continue focusing on your own team that you're on. Practices and games are extremely important right now. And then just kind of, I guess, wait along with our process for the spring team invites. Just a little reminder for into the spring and also going on in this fall, winter, there is rescheduling that you can do. Rescheduling is in the same groupings as you are in right now, and you can choose other ones. So for example, if you're in group 2A and you're trying to get to 2B or to group 1, that won't be able to happen. You have to stay within your groups. On that is there will be a coaching suggestion this year for the spring team players of whether what grouping you could go to, or even maybe a half and half with 2 different groupings. So again, as most of the players here and families are on the are trying out for the spring teams, but also in the BW community. So for the BW hockey skills development, it's for anyone, including others that are not on our spring teams. Obviously, the practices and tournaments and all that is for spring team only players. And just a heads up that spring break camp early bird registration will be coming out very likely this week for those that have been asking, waiting. So let's move along. We have our first guest speaker, Larissa Mills from the Mental Game Academy. Larissa and I have partnered up and been chatting for, I believe, a couple years now. And we're now at the point now where we're trying to, I guess, fully collaborate on working together and we'll just say programs and like a service for these young athletes and hockey players. So welcome, Larissa, and I'll let you take it away for.
Hi there. Am I able to share, Brendan, with my screen there? Hi, everybody. I'm Larissa. I'm a a cognitive behavioral sports specialist. We also do psychology. We also do addictions, actually phone and social media as well. But our programs are used at all levels. So we are from all the way down to U10, all the way up to OHL, draft, NCAA, which is really exciting, and professional. So we just partnered with NHL coach Dallas Eakins, who is a great supporter of our youth, learning their mental skills as well as their physical skills to develop the whole athlete. And Brendan is a great proponent of this concept as well, because he knows that as your physical skills develop, we still need you to have the smartest brain. And we need your brain to be fully active and focused. And phones kind of derail us a little bit from that. So I'm going to go just briefly over, our team. There's about 10 of us. Our partner, Rob Palante, played D1. My partner is Tag Cosgriff. He is from NCAA from Yale, and Dallas Eakins, and we have Pete Lowe. But one of the reasons why we got into this, and one of the reasons why Brendan and I have talked so much, is kids have been on their phones actually 18,000 hours by 16. So this is 3 years of their life. This is psychological, emotional, and physical and academic delay in terms of their brain development. So what we designed are cognitive behavioral programs that help your athletes learn resilience, emotional intelligence, leadership, and communication in order for them to be an effective teammate and player. And then we also reduce their phone time and their social media time. So this is just a brief diagram. I'm only going to talk for 2 minutes, but what we do is what we see. It's so far amongst our teams, athletes, and the teams that we have slotted on right now, and our data, that 4 hours a day is too much phone. We know that it affects your sleep, your injuries, your distraction, your focus stamina. So your focus stamina, if there's little, Brandon, other kids listening too, and parents? Okay, all right. So if you are on your phones for this long, these bubbles right here really affect your focus. And if your games are 90 minutes or close to an hour, we really need you to be able to focus for another hour during the day without a phone at all. So we're trying to mimic and practice daytime to practice game time without phones. And really, a 90-minute game becomes 2.5 hours without any phone distraction at all. What we're highly focused on in our programs, which is the most important, social media is impacting what you see online in terms of video, context, and comments. And to the undeveloped brain, which our brains don't mature until 25, and this is affecting what we see is self-confidence, self-doubt, where you're like afraid to make a shot, or you're afraid to make a pass, or you don't want to touch the puck, and you're too worried. We can give you strategies and help you reduce your phone time, and then give you mental skills to feel better. So you'll feel stronger and a little bit, well, we call it going beast mode, because our brains do this cool thing. They can only be in fear mode or in beast mode. They can't kind of just, unless we can be in neutral mode. In neutral mode means we're in beast mode anyway. So we really help you with your traffic light of emotions, how to get from red to green, how to get from yellow to green. And that's the pretty much the predominant focus of this comprehensive program. So we work virtually with teams, and we do one-on-ones. And if you're interested, I think, Brendan, I sent you the code. So the code for your players, and I'm just going to put it in the chat for everybody. If you wanted to go onto our website and check it out, the code is Wong23, and I'll put our website in the chat too as well. The other box that affects right here, the bubble, is fear of failure. Fear of making a mistake is a really common thing right now. Coaches who are veterans beyond 30 years before phones were introduced in 2007, they've never seen so much hesitancy, anxiety, and perfectionism. And so these are two bubbles in which the Olympic programs that we have done work with, we see that these two bubbles are almost non-existent in our Olympic or professional athletes. So seems to be that the going rate of hours per day is really 2. Beyond 2 hours a day, I find our athletes don't go much higher than 16 years old. They kind of stay where they are in their development or at the level they're at, and they don't seem to excel. And that's because our brains, the way we interpret information and the way we interpret social media and how it makes us compare ourselves to everybody else, it kind of makes us feel bad. And our brains wire to that. And then social media makes us want to go and see that. So it's a really nasty cycle for an athletic performer. And it's one in which we can really help with. And our athletes are doing really well. 77% of kids that come in here are now actually not addicted to their phones, which is great because 88% of kids under the age of 18 are. So this is a great program, even if your kids need help with phones or gaming. So I'll put some of my information up. I think it's right down here. But this is one thing I wanted to just show before I jump off. And Brendan and I have talked, we talked about this, I think, a year ago, Brendan, when we had a really good a good chat. Um, Athlete skills are 1/3, just 1/3 of their success. But the other third is mental skills, leadership, and communication skills with your teammate, yourself, and everyone around you. The other third of your skills has to be your focus, discipline, habits, and routines. That includes sleep, diet, physio, everything, your phones, everything in this section. So we really need to work, 66% more on these areas, because this is where we see our athletes excelling. Our athletes are going D1, they're going OHL, and they're staying in the NHL, which is great, which is what we want. So these are where we focus on our program. So we teach you self-talk, how to stop negative self-talk. Carolyn Moss is one of our representatives. She's great, obviously a great basketball player, but she could not believe how many people were talking negatively to themselves today, because that's what we're seeing more of. We teach you how to balance your phones and how to be safe online with tech. We teach you emotional intelligence, so that at a high level, we have our NIL athletes who are doing emotional intelligence and who have strong communication skills with leadership and motivation. And then we have our leadership and our self-worth component. So if you're interested in this program, I think, Brendan, we talked about maybe a group. Was that a group that you wanted to start like in January? I think it was.
Yep. Sorry.
Okay.
I
Is
think
that
I
what
think
you
the
were
best way.
preferring, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once we, it's great that you're obviously introducing yourself, showing what
Yeah.
the Mental Game Academy is and what it can do, but also the one-on-ones that you can share, and
Yes.
also the group that we can
We can do both.
present.
Yeah.
We'll
We
present
can,
to
yeah.
the group here
Yeah.
after you're obviously off of the call. We'll be putting an email together for um to
Yeah. I have some information. We can put it out, and I'll just slip my website. We're also on Instagram if you guys want to check that out. But we just want athletes to stay and play and feel better, and make sure that you're reaching the top of your potential here. So thanks. If you guys have any questions, I think you can put them in the chat. I'll stay on, or you can email me, mentalgameacademy@gmail.com. But I think that's it for me, unless anybody has any questions. I'll just put it in the chat.
Yeah, I think for the questions, they can definitely chuck them in the chat and we can read over them. But while that's happening, I think whether the parents
Yep, go ahead.
understand what we do on the ice and with the youth, and then also the players should understand the way that we are coaching with them is, of course, we're showing them a lot of different skating, uh, puck handling, stick skills, shooting skills. Um, all part game situations, all parts of the game, different skills and little things that as
Mhm.
coaches and mentors we want to pass along to them of what we've done and seen in our past at these levels, and so say great players that we played with or against. But
Mhm.
we also do pass along how these players should be, or not should be, but can be thinking. Hopefully they take something away with the mental side when they're competing for the puck, or
Yes.
competing in play, or they're
Yeah.
back checking what they can be thinking about, or when they don't have the puck. Different mindsets is extremely important in the game of
Right.
hockey, of the way that they're
Yeah.
thinking, and
Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
they're scoring 3 goals each game, not each game, 3 goals in a game, or maybe they're struggling to score. There's a certain habit of a cycle of mindset that goes in there, and up to each individual
Yeah, we definitely help with the slumps. We definitely help with tournaments preps. We definitely help with showcase preps. We definitely help with how you feel, where your game is at. But it's all about elevating your mindset to help you get to whatever that is in your game to that next level, which is great. So it can be, remember, we're about focusing on the hockey IQ too. Our program focuses on your whole game, not just scoring, because if we always focus on scoring, we'll never ever progress. So if you look at yourself, some of our best players still go out and focus on getting better 1% a day, just 1%, moving the needle better, better, better in every area of their play. And that's what we help them do, and help to stay motivated on the bench. Because this here in here, your inner voice is actually your own inner coach. So that's important for life.
Don't see any questions quite yet.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, well, I put it all there. I put the code in there if anyone's interested. Check it out. But we're here if anyone requires that type of assistance as well.
Okay. One thing I get maybe that may be a little more of interest to them is I guess some of the, like you mentioned a couple, but some of the leagues or potential teams that you work with in any sports, but the popular teams or even in hockey that they may know. Is there some that you can?
Oh gosh, yeah. We work with Ohio State. We work with varsity teams, so like university. We also we're going to be working with Yale, Princeton. We're going to be working with the AHL teams, three of them in Hartford. We work in terms of NHL players. I'm not allowed to say who I do, but let's just say you guys will all know them. But we actually go to NHL teams and we actually sit down with them to go over their phone time, even at this age. So remember, it's very important to always think about your habits, no matter what age it is, no matter what level of play, because they really will affect you. We also have a coaching program for coaches. So we coach complete staffs. We work with the London Knights, like a lot of different teams with the Junior Knights program. We work with Elgin Middlesex, U18 AAA with a lot of players as well. So and various players out west, and I don't know all the leagues out west, but we work with prep schools. We work with a lot of that OHL league area. So yeah, it's going really well.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if you mentioned them, but you are from out east in Toronto,
I'm in London.
London
Yeah,
area.
so we're on Eastern Standard Time, but we work anywhere with our European clients in England to our out west clients. We have a lot of clients in California. Actually, we have swimmers, basketball players, baseball players. We're going to be working at the Super Bowl. We're going to be working at NBA All-Stars. So yeah, we're really excited to work at the Super Bowl and the NBA All-Star. It's kind of fun with the kids because it's all about our initiative getting on the ground. So yeah.
Yeah. No, great. Again, Larissa and I have talked for quite a while now, and just we have sent out emails before as well, but it's nice to have you in front of our community. This is recorded, so those families that are missing it now and will be watching will be able to see it all. But yeah, again, any questions from the parents or even the
Yeah,
players?
I see one. Yeah, we do have, I see one in the chat, I think, if I'm reading it right, because I don't have my glasses on. So I'm just like I think it says, do we have coaching programs? Is that right, Brendan? You want to double check that? It says, do you yeah, we have coaching so I am approved by the Canadian Coaching Association, and we're also getting approved in the UK, and we're getting in the process of the US Coaching Association. We just signed a partnership with the National Federation of High Schools in the US. That gives us access to their coaches. It also gives us access to all the high schools, teachers, and kids. So it's we're getting pretty big. It's pretty crazy. So we need more coaches if anybody's interested. But thanks.
Yeah, and Larissa, back when she had reached out to me, that was again a couple years ago, is she's been growing extremely fast as the BW stuff
Yeah.
as well. As mentioned to our community, we will be expanding further and further. We just went to Lake Cowichan last year. We
Yay.
plan to have the camp again, and very likely we'll have more up the island. Hopefully this off season and into the summer, and if not into next year.
Nice.
So we were keep expanding as well, and that's why this is a perfect timing for both of us to collaborate and continue along. I
Yeah.
don't see any other questions in here.
That's awesome. But thanks. Thanks for having me on,
Yeah,
Brandon.
thank you very much for coming on. Our next our next thank you very much, Larissa. Whether you want to
No problem.
stay on or not is up to you.
I'll stay on for a bit for sure.
Okay. Let's see here. Our next speaker will be Eric Williams. He's a clinical psychologist with a PhD. One second, he's trying to get in.
Time yet? Time yet, Dad?
Eric Lee. Coming. All right, looks like he joined. Are you here?
Got it. I've arrived.
All right. Yep, there we go. All right, so everyone, we have Eric Williams on. Eric is a local Victoria doctor, and he's going to chat with you a little bit more here, and he is connected well with the hockey community, as lots of us have all play a rec level hockey together. So welcome, Eric.
Oh, thank you very much. Pleasure to see you. Pleasure to see everyone. Sorry for holding you all up there. I don't know what was going on there, but anyway, here now. So let's get right into it. Let's see here. Share my screen. Can everyone see that okay?
Yep.
Good. All right, let's go. Your brain in hockey, how to have fun, how to learn lots, and how to be your best player. That's what we're going to do today. If it'll let me, there we go. So yep, once upon a time I played hockey too. That was if you look on the left, that's when I had hair. And then on the right is kind of more when embracing the recreational hockey stuff. And to be honest, I think I'm having more fun now with the rec hockey stuff than back when I actually played with a little bit more of an edge. I've played hockey with a few people. I had a few teammates that have gone on to the NHL back when I actually knew how to play, Kyle Greentree and Adam Cracknell. And in fact, Adam often jokes that I got his professional career started. He and I were in junior camp together. He was a 15-year-old kid who, by the way, could clear the crossbar with a slap shot from the far face-off dot at 15 years old. We just saw immediately he was wired differently. But anyway, long story short, we were on a one-on-one drill, and someone passed the puck a little behind me during tryouts, and he put his shoulder into my chest, and it was like a cartoon. All four limbs kept going, and my body stopped, and then I was kind of looking up while on the ice, and they took him straight off the ice. He was the first player signed to the Junior Braves, and off his career went. And then I decided hockey probably wasn't where I was going to be best suited, and that was okay. I've also worked with Olympians, Olympic athletes, trying to harness their best performances and to make the most. I can't say who or what sports because I have a kind of psychologist patient privilege where I can't say who I work with, unfortunately, but some professional athletes and Olympic athletes and all that. So yeah, I really enjoy working with people who are emerging athletes, recreational athletes, everyone. And with that, let's talk about lemons, which is like a perfect segue, right? You're probably like, why on earth are we talking about lemons? But it might even follow a little bit with the previous presenter who no doubt had so many interesting things to say. So here's your little thought experiment. I want you to, if possible, and again, you've got the presentation up, so no one's probably looking too close at you. I want you to close your eyes just for like 15, 20 seconds, and I'm going to guide you through this. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to picture a lemon, a bright yellow lemon. You to picture as if you're like picking it off of the tree and you can feel it in your hand. There it is. It feels like a lemon. And either your parent or someone or you are slicing it open and you see how yellow it is inside, and you're going to slice it again and kind of some of the juice comes out. Keep thinking about this lemon. Now you're going to pick up a slice of that lemon. There's a wedge, and you're going to look at it. It's yellow, it's bright, and you're going to put it in your mouth and you're going to bite right down. Bite down on that lemon right now. All right. And you can open your eyes. And if you really took the drill seriously, this is the kind of face you'll probably be making. That's the face I'm hoping you'll be making right there. Okay. And the point is that our brains work in mysterious ways, and our bodies and our brains are connected, and we need both to play hockey really well, and we need both to really enjoy hockey. So part of what counselors and psychologists do, and sports psychologists, is they help you make the most of that connection between your brain and body. So we learn to calm our mind when it's needed. We also learn to motivate ourselves to like get ready in the moment or in practice, right? Those are two different things when we're in the game in the heat of the moment, or when we're in practice and we need to stay motivated. We need to find the right amount of engagement and excitement that happens. We need to make sure we always have an ability to grow. That's super important, whether you play, super casual hockey, recreational, or whether you just want to be the best player in the world and you want to be like Connor McDavid. All good. We all still have to grow. And there's a certain mindset with that we're going to talk about. And just to make sure you're enjoying what you're doing out there. All right. So don't worry. We're not going too far into the brain, but I want you to understand how it works. No matter how old or young you are here, I want you to understand that you have this frontal lobe, this one over here. And what it does is it makes all our decisions. And it especially makes decisions when we're feeling kind of stressed out. And that can happen when we're playing hockey or when coaches are yelling, or no doubt Bryan just really yells at everyone all the time, right? That's just the type of person he is, that a really serious guy. So this is what we need. We need this frontal lobe to be working with us. The one behind is the parietal lobe. It's responsible for how our body kind of moves, how it receives feeling, and how our muscles move. So that's pretty important. At the back, there's our vision. Okay. And at the side is kind of like memory and hearing, also very important for hockey. And at the bottom is this thing called the cerebellum. It's kind of like the gyroscope. It's the thing that gives us coordination. So someone like Brandon just has a honking cerebellum. Like, that jerk is so good at hockey, right? So this is one where his balance, he's got this really amazing ability to coordinate his body. And we all have different parts of our brain that work well or not. But here's the thing. We need all these to work well. But when we don't, this midbrain takes over, and it does important stuff too. And again, don't worry, we're not going too deep, but this is the emotion center. This is the stuff where all the feelings come out. I'm mad, I'm frustrated, I'm slamming my stick. I can't stay focused on things. I'm feeling kind of scared or nervous. It's tryouts and I don't know whether I can make this team. And my anxiety is high and I'm just not able to access it. And so what do we do to kind of fix that? And so just as a quick aside, it's pretty cool. All these names are Latin. So amygdala or amygdala is actually just almond in Latin. And hippocampus is actually just seahorse. And isn't it crazy to think like your brain surgeon is going in there and they'd be like, oh, we're making an incision over by the seahorse and we're going over by the almond. It doesn't sound like it would inspire a lot of confidence. But anyway, that's neither here or there. But this is our midbrain. This is the emotion stuff where everything gets all serious. And when we need that to play hockey well and to enjoy practice and have fun with our friends. But also, we need that outside brain to work really well. And we need to bring it online doing a few different things. So here's some practices. Breathing is actually pretty cool. So here we go, team. We're going to practice some breathing. So the first thing is, if you're bracing for a big hit, or someone, your big sister or big brother jumps out and scares you, what do, right? You go like that. Try it just for yourself. Your mics are muted. Just try a quick inhale like that. Notice what it does. It makes your blood pump faster. Notice what it does to your brain. You kind of almost get tingly going up there. Now notice as well, if we are feeling like we have a super annoying big brother or sister, or a super annoying coach, or like this guy that talks too long, when they leave, you go like this. We all naturally do it. It's the pace of our breath going out. And Olympic athletes practice this all the time. It turns out when we're feeling upset for any reason, whether we're out there and the refs made a bad call, or the coach is a little scary, or our friends are a little scary, or the team, we can use this tool. We can breathe out. So practice it. Take one try. Do a nice slow. notice how that feels. Okay, that's a little trick you can do on the bench. You can do it before you go on the ice. That will help you if you need to bring your level down a little bit. If you feel like you need to bring your level up a little bit, give yourself a few of those in a row, and it's going to do the trick. I promise. That's the thing. We can't fool our breathing. It's kind of one of those things we need to do to live, so it's hardwired. All right, the next level of this that athletes use is grounding. And this is when we really need to pull ourselves. We're thinking too much about the game, or we're thinking too much about whatever's going on. What can I see? Well, when you look around the room, pretty much everyone has one of these. I can see a phone. What can I hear? I can hear my voice. I can hear an echo. What can I feel? I feel my palms are warm, or I can feel where I'm sitting. What can I smell? What can I taste? And you go through these, and there's a reason why we do it. It sounds silly, but it brings our brain back online. See, here's the thing. What can I hear? Well, there's that temporal lobe. What can I see? There's that occipital lobe. What can I feel? There's that parietal lobe, right? And what am I noticing? There's that frontal lobe. We're bringing the whole thing online. Every piece of the equation we need to do well in hockey and to practice and to have fun, it's all getting activated when we go and we check in with all these things. So that's what some of these athletes do. So we go and we see, how excited do we need to be to play hockey? How excited, like, do we need to be this excited? Do we need to be this ramped up? Don't know. Do we need to be this dopey? You get to decide. It's different for everyone. I've had some players and teammates that do their best when they're like this. And of course, the coaches have to rein them in a little bit. And I have some players that you just, like Mario Lemieux. Well, I guess I'm dating myself. I'm super old, but Mario Lemieux looked like he was half asleep out there. He was so calm all the time. But be interesting for you to think about what kind of hockey player and athlete and person you are, and how kind of fired up you get to play hockey and what works best. So it turns out some stress is a good thing. If we don't have enough, we're usually too laid back. If we have too much, we're that person that keeps going to the penalty box, or upsetting our friends, or doing, not able to focus on the game, yelling at the refs. So hopefully not. We always want to respect the refs, obviously. But we want to find that right spot, whatever is best for you. Don't worry, we're getting close to the end here. You're all hanging in with me. I know we're going through things really quickly, but I just thought it'd be fun to show you a bunch of different techniques that the pros use. This is called fixed mindset and growth mindset, and this is super important. In fact, this might be the most important thing that I've seen correlate with success for people. In a fixed mindset, we kind of like avoid challenges. We're very certain. We have our mind made up. We're really kind of stubborn about things. We often get competitive and we get kind of jealous. We see other people doing things. I'll tell you right now, you know a lot about hockey, all of you, and you probably know what a muffin of a shot is. I possess a muffin of a shot. It is not good. It's really slow. It's ineffective. And for that reason, I've had to learn different ways to go about things. If I decided I just couldn't be a good hockey player because I can't shoot the puck very hard, or barely even raise the puck for that matter, I'd really be in trouble. So instead, I took a growth mindset. I found out that I could stand in front of the net and tip pucks pretty well. That's what I can do. I can't score a goal outside of 3 feet away from the net, and I'm very much okay with that. And I think other people should too. Could you imagine if Connor McDavid decided the only way he could score goals would be if he scored big slap shots? It's not going to work very well. So the point of growth mindset is to kind of see what possibilities are out there. If we get it wrong, we mess up the drill, you found out a way not to do it. That's okay. You can adjust and get right into it. Hockey should be fun, and the players that do the best learn, and the players that do the best ask lots of questions. I sometimes work in hospitals, and I work with these like brain surgeons and heart surgeons. They're always the first ones to ask me questions. They're always, and to ask anyone questions, because they stay curious. And that's my hope for you as hockey players, is that you stay curious and you always want to know something new about the game instead of deciding how the game should work or not. Confidence is good, but we want to be like really open-minded. And trust me, this is what the pros do. So again, we can miss the mark all the time, but that's okay. We're just getting closer. And we might never be the Connor McDavid ice hockey player, but that's all right. We can learn from everyone. Every time I step on the floor on the ice, especially when it's with Bryan and those guys, I just look around and I go, ooh, what a cool skill. I want to learn that. Oh, isn't that amazing? I'm enjoying it for that. And I hope you can do the same because it will make you a better hockey player. All right, so now we're talking about practice. All right, some of you are probably too young to know this one, but we're talking about practice. So practice can occur in a couple different ways, and you probably heard this lots, but good players don't get so nervous before games because they put in the time to get it right. Same thing with school. If you study for the test, you don't feel as nervous before the test because it's really hard to bring a miraculous hockey play out of the bag on the day when you haven't practiced your skating all year long or your shot or your stick handling. We want to make sure all the stuff is done in advance so you can just go and enjoy the game. So how do we do that? So we can make a challenge every time you're on the ice or every time you're doing dry land. Find a cool thing, a challenge for yourself. I want to make more weight than I did last time. I want to do extra laps. Make something that's different. It doesn't have to be I'm showing up to practice because I'm showing up to practice. Make a challenge for yourself that's unique, one that belongs to you, one that belongs to the team. You be a problem solver. What can you improve between sessions on the ice, off the ice? You do whatever you can to kind of make the most of that time. Trust me, it's valuable. Before you know it, you're going to have no hair and you're going to be talking to a group about stuff rather than being the star of the show. But for now, you just enjoy right where you are. And then the last piece is mental rehearsal. And you've probably heard about this too. It's actually kind of cool the way the brain works. And the other thing I do is I work with sleep and sleep disorders. And this one works as well for this. And this is, in fact, one of the things that Major League Baseball pitchers are tasked to do, especially when they have trouble with sleeping, is they rehearse their favorite pitch. Okay, so if you have a favorite hockey move, whether it's a toe drag, a backhand, whether you're just doing the Michigan, whether it's face-offs, I want you to like put it in your mind when you're laying down before bed at night, and I want you to do 15 perfect face-offs. I want you to do 15 perfect snapshots, whatever it is that you like, because actually the brain wires itself. You can actually make gains just lying there in bed. And the good news is it's a win-win because either you make the gains or you fall asleep. You get it either way. So this is what we want. We want to have a good outcome either way. But yes, you keep practicing, and you could even practice getting it wrong and correcting it and figuring a new way. Like there's no wrong answers here. We're just having fun and gaining. That's the whole purpose. All right, as we get closer to the end here, here's Eric's big takeaways, which again is always better than a giveaway. We never want to give away the puck. We always want to get those takeaways. Find your right playing state. Find out how excited, how worked up you want to be, and harness that. And in line with that, I always joke about this, but I did a whole bunch of school, but I just often repeat stuff my mom tells me. And my mom always said, your greatest strength is a nice edge of your greatest weakness. Figure out what it is, find that line, and you're going to nail it. So someone who's really nice, that's awesome until they become so nice, they become kind of like pushed over a little bit. We don't want that in hockey or life. Or someone who's really like assertive and a go-getter in hockey and in life. That's really cool until it becomes that line and they flip it over and it becomes a weakness and they're taking penalties and they're getting in the way, selfish play and that kind of thing. So what's your strength? Are you a playmaker? Are you someone who stays poised? Are you someone that rallies the guys or gals? Who are you? Figure out that strength, figure out that line, and make the most of it. Whatever that is. Maybe you're the funny person. That's valuable too. Stay curious and open. Keep that growth happening and know what makes hockey fun for you. As the final one, and I'm not joking about this one, be kind. Like seriously, be kind. This benefits you with your coaches. This benefits with parents. This benefits you with the teammates, scouts, referees. You will always get benefit of the doubt when you are there for your teammates, when you are there for everyone else. That's an emphasis point I really want to make because there's plenty of time to score the game-winning goal, but make sure you're there for your teammates and everyone else because it's the best. All right, that's it. Rapid fire. That's 26 or so slides, and hopefully helpful for someone there.
Well done. Thank you very much, Eric. We do have a question already without asking. So if anyone else has some questions, fire it away in the chat. Not sure what Silas has means here, but he just mentioned when we are done, can put what can you see in the chat?
Oh yeah, you want me to like share the presentation or something like that? Is that right?
Yes, that's what I took out of it as well. Yep. If you
Okay. Yeah. I should be able
have
to
like that part of the presentation, we could probably add that to our email, like when we send it out to our email list. Yeah, that's what they mean. Can share that, or you can, if you have it already ready, you can put it in the chat if you want. Up to you.
Yeah. Let me close it up and I can probably do that. I should mention I just like totally stole everything from Google Images, so like not copyright infringement or anything. Okay, let me drop that in.
Educating, not selling anything here.
All right, here we go.
Awesome. Yeah, no, you go ahead, and if you want to add anything, you can. I just wanted to mention, obviously, it's such a great presentation. Lots of these skill players that have been with us for however many years, 1, 2, 3, 4 years. We do have some new ones, obviously, at a younger age and joining, but just absorbing lots of information. An individual, at times you will get things that make sense to you and that don't make sense to you. You'll get some things that you think that are right and some things that are wrong, and it'll be up to you to sort that out. Just to continue learning as when you absorb, just always learning, just like Eric mentions, to always ask questions. We say that on the ice all the time, especially with the guest coaches and the mentors that we have. We have draft picks in the NHL, draft picks in the WHL, those that made it and those that didn't make it. Lots of learning from those that made it, success stories, but also those that didn't make it and learn from their mistakes or so say failures. And so that's what our athletes will eventually be able to share with others as well, whether it be successful or so say a failure. Yeah, and then like you mentioned, the visualization, such a huge piece, such a big skill to have. Of course, as athletes, but including in just our regular everyday life, having that open mind and all that. But we talk about this with the players as well. It's just, at some point in their, I guess, their lives, or especially in their hockey career, sometimes that they get to be really good at something, you'll be able to use the term, I could probably do it in my sleep. And it is very true. Some things that you get confidence on, and some areas that you're confident enough to say that you pretty much can do in your sleep.
That is, by the way, Brent, just as a quick thing, that is what we learned about language acquisition in the brain. If when you start learning a second language and you start dreaming in that language, you can do it in your sleep. You got it.
Correct. Yeah. And the last one I wrote down was just the playing state. And I just would like to pass along my own, and I'm sure everyone else has theirs, but I remember my grandpa passing along. I probably play better when I'm mad, when I'm pissed off, because I have such a laid back personality. I am competitive, but I remember that. And personally, as I got up probably into junior hockey, I started learning that, and that's when he mentioned it, but started learning that I had to visualize and think of things that made me mad. Some things that my brother or sister did to me or said or whatever, that maybe, sometimes whether it be people saying that I wasn't going to play in the NHL or make a certain level or something, that stuff made me mad. So I would use that stuff against all that in a positive way. And lots of that stuff, it did work for me. So hopefully you guys guys and girls can use that to your advantage and in finding what will help you in your playing state. That's all I got there, but appreciate your time, Eric, and your great presentation. I'm sure the young ones, I think we have 6-year-olds and probably even 15-year-olds, and we're going to post this on YouTube as well. So our junior college players and any parents will have access to it too.
Right on. Okay. And if anyone has questions after the fact, send them along my way and I'll do my best to answer them.
Give it a minute or so here. I believe Bryan Kelly is here as well.
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Okay. So everyone, welcome Bryan Kelly. He's with ASM Scholarships. Bryan, I've known for a long time. He is also from Victoria. His brother played hockey. They both played hockey at the Victoria Racket Club back in the day. with myself and their dad coached. I think it was our novice team, and he spent a long time coaching as well, but that was back in novice. And Bryan, I'll let you introduce yourself, but obviously with our, long time that you've been around the world with rugby Canada, and so I'll let you mention like the world rugby that you've done. For those that want to connect, a little bit of Bryan coming on with the ASM scholarships is as you continue on with your journey of hockey, there's different pathways in hockey also, and or any sports, but hockey here, what we try and guide these families and players, it's one thing kind of to go up. Things are actually changing these days with the BCHL also going on their own as well. But the regular way before was tier 1 WHL or tier 2 junior A, and then all the way up to the college NCAA. So I'll let Bryan inform you, but lots of things, say being a bubble player or even being a really good player, sometimes the options can be tricky, and everyone's always trying to find the best suited one for themselves or for their son or daughter. And out there is a lot of coaches and management that will be able to recruit with some things that they want to I guess will sell you with, whether it be playing time lines or whatever, past history of that organization too. So there is certainly a lot of truth sometimes, and there's sometimes that those that won't hold to what they say. So welcome, Bryan.
Hi, everyone. Thanks. Really appreciate the introduction there, Brandon. I'm just going to have a few slides here, so I'll get through it as quickly as I can. I know everyone's been on the call for almost an hour now, so I'll get into it as quickly as I can here. Everybody can see my screen? Yep. Okay, great. So as Brandon mentioned, I work for a company called ASM Scholarships. And what exactly does that mean? Well, we are a company that is based out of West Palm Beach in Florida, and our job is to act as the middleman between you, the athletes and the parents, and college and university head coaches. So what we do, and what we've been doing since 2018, is we have got scholarships for 5,000 student athletes that range from about $30,000 to $40,000 per year to Ivy League, NCAA, NAIA, and JUCO, which are community colleges in the United States, as well as in Canada. So what I'm here to talk about, as Brandon mentioned, is opportunities. In the world of hockey, we all know that there's junior hockey, there's the Western Hockey League, there's BCHL, there's lots of routes in the junior hockey capacity, but there are opportunities to get scholarships and to go to play hockey in the United States and Canada, earn a 4-year degree, and come out with a degree, 4 years of high quality education, and some really great hockey as well. And the company that I work for will help you through that process, because it can be quite confusing. And the top athletes in the sport are the ones that generally it's really easy for them. I'm here to work for the athletes that don't necessarily have it as easy as some of the superstars. So on to my next slide here, just a really quick overview of who I am. So as Brandon mentioned, I grew up playing for the Victoria Racquet Club. Passionate hockey guy my entire life. I thought I was going to the NHL, but was not the biggest, not the strongest, not the fastest, not the best guy on the ice, but I was a passionate sports, hockey, rugby, everything person. So when I graduated from high school, I took a few years off, but then I started doing play-by-play commentary. So I spent 3 years play-by-play commentary for the Saanich Predators. My dad actually owns the Saanich Predators, so I've got that connection in the world of junior as well. And I worked my way up in the hockey world all the way to working for the Edmonton Oilers in the National Hockey League. And then I switched over to the world of rugby. And over the last 12 years, I've climbed up the ranks. I was the head of public relations and marketing and media for Rugby Canada for 8 years, that top right slide. I was at the Olympics in 2016. I've worked 5 Rugby World Cups. And I also worked for broadcast commentary, TSN, CBC, been one of the voices of Canadian rugby for the last 15 years. And last 18 months, I've worked for World Rugby, which is rugby's version of the IIHF, so the governing body. So I worked all the way up to the top, flown to more than 30 countries around the world, been at the biggest competitions in the world, and worked with athletes, worked with media, worked in public relations. So I've seen athletes at their highest, and I've been involved in press conferences and commentary and all these things. So I know athletes, and I know what it takes to be at that next level. So in terms of what's available out there, I am still learning. I've only been in this job about a month now, so I am still learning. And the man leading this call, Brandon, obviously played 4 or 5 years down in the U.S. at a really high level. There are a lot of opportunities, and there are a lot of schools. There's a lot of NCAA Division 1, 2, 3, and NAIA schools, as well as other programs that play hockey, offer either full scholarships, partial scholarships, or walk-on scholarships, which basically get you in the door. And so there's lots of opportunities out there, and there's a lot of chance for you to put your hand up and say, well, maybe I don't want to go play junior. Maybe I want to get a degree. Maybe I want to get a business degree or a marketing degree or a sports science degree or a doctorate or something like that. But while I'm in school, I don't want to give up on all the hockey that I've played in my entire life. So there are opportunities for you to go and get a scholarship and go and play. And that's where I come in. I work with you and your parents. I build you an athlete assessment, and I get you. I take your video highlights. I take your academic, your grades, your profiles, and we get you in front of as many college coaches as possible over a couple-year process. And then I come back to you and say, look, these are the schools that I think you can get into. We've talked to these coaches. They can offer you a 50% scholarship, 60, 70, 80%. And in that scholarship, it'll help cover your accommodation, your food. It'll put you in a high performance training environment with gym, mental health coaches, physios, all of your on campus fees, everything like that will all be taken care of. So that's my job, and that's what I do. And that's how we can work together. I know you guys don't know what route you're going to take, what path you're going to take, but this is a really great opportunity for both men and women, because ice hockey is a big deal in the US. And, you know, Brandon can tell you all about his time down there and all the championships. And, you know, I noticed, Brandon, your team there won this year. So I thought I'd throw a picture in there from this year as champions of the NCAA Division 1. So congratulations to the Bobcats. But so essentially, I am a resource that's here for you, that if you want to explore the route of going down to the US on a scholarship, finding out what's available, I am here for you. Brandon can give you my contact information. My contact information is here as well. Get in touch with me if you have some questions. What schools are out there? Where can I go? What can I study? What do I need to do over the next few years to potentially get a scholarship? How do I talk to coaches? You know, what type of environment do I need to be in to get access to, you know, a full-time hockey scholarship? Those are the questions that you have, and I have the answers for you. So I'm here to help, and I'm here to be a resource for you. And just get in touch, and I can help you out with that. That's essentially it from me. I'm a resource. I'm here, and I can help get you down into the US and into these big markets and playing in some really high level hockey on a scholarship.
Thank you very much, Bryan, for joining and sharing all this. Again, just like Eric said to the group, is ask questions. So same thing with Bryan, parents and players, write down some questions, email it or contact him, and you know, he'll be able to help you out. And yeah, it's again, this whole BW platform, it all started passing along, educating, and just sharing the past, what we've gone through. And being on the island isn't an easy thing, as we're so, say, a little secluded from well, definitely the mainland. And you know, the scouts are out there for sure. I'm not saying it's that. It's just sometimes, you know, connecting to the mainland or whatever, it can be difficult. So, you know, there are people around that can help, and the resources are certainly out there too within our community. All right. Well, that's about it. Does anyone have any questions? You can write in here. Bryan, I don't know if you want to add in the chat as well. I know you shared it with your pictures and presentation, but if you want to add in email, phone number, that type of thing, or website even, you can, and everyone can pick it off there. But thank you very much for everyone to joining. And if you did miss anything, this was recorded. It will go on the YouTube channel. We will share that with you on an email. And again, just I guess reminding everyone that the logo name process is about to start with the voting probably this week. Again, with the team invites, We are going through the process, and to be patient and wait. If you didn't get one, or if you did get one, just just do as what is asked, I guess, in the PDF you receive or email. Do check your emails. And yeah, just the rescheduling for the rest of the fall winter skills and into the spring is available to others out there as well, within our booking system. So spring break camp, early bird registration coming up as well. And thank you very much to Larissa, Eric, and Bryan for joining all of us. I see that Eric has posted the presentation, and same with Larissa and Bryan sharing their contact information. But good luck to you all, obviously, with your seasons. Keep going hard. It's the middle of the season. Believe that is the hardest part of the season, as usually everyone's so pumped and overwhelmed to start the hockey season. Everyone's pumped to get ready for playoffs and that stuff at the end, but the middle is the grinding part. It starts getting a lot colder. Definitely even sometimes whether it be some sickness or injuries going around too. So keep battling through it, and just work as hard as you can. Again, you're always trying to learn, you're always trying to develop and improve, both as a hockey player, athlete, and person. It's extremely important to be a leader. Alrighty, thank you very much. We'll be closing this off. We'll see you guys on the ice soon or at the rink. Have a good week coming up.